In this world of technology, things are ever changing, rearranging. You need someone to help you out. I know someone who can. Come and take a journey with me as we go through the land of technology. You'll never be alone. You'll be with Paul Amadeus Lane in the tech zone.
Third and final segment of the show. Remember, you'll never be alone. You'll be with Paul Amadeus Lane in the tech zone. So happy that you stay tuned in to the show to learn about what's going on in tech, some of the latest tech news, and some of the things that go on behind the scenes of some of these tech companies. And if you checked out the interview in the second segment, it's incredible of how these investment companies, how they look for different industries out there in the growth stage, especially when it comes to tech, and how they're able to offer their help and assistance and the greenery behind it to get that message out there. All right. Our last segment today, we're going to talk about the way that we make payments. Gone are the days that we scratch a check. Gone are the days, especially if you're not a driver or on an automobile, hopping on the bus, making a payment, and just going through the hassle. I know my wife and I went to visit a friend the other day, and she doesn't drive. She has some health challenges. And I know before, in order for her to pay bills, she would have to hop on the bus, get disabled transportation. It was a huge hassle to try to get places to pay a bill. But when we talked with her, she was like, I pay everything on my phone now. We're like, what? So why are we using our mobile devices to make payments? Why is there a convenience? Why is it speedy? And what's driving us to do that today? Well, my next guest is going to talk about a survey that his company did and a study to really explain those questions and many more. It's one of those OMG moments right now here on the Tech Zone. My next guest right here, I remember him when he was at the Consumer Technology Association. And when I got the pitch for the story, I knew his name sounded familiar. And it wasn't until we connected for this interview that I was so happy to be reunited with a couple of my friends from CTA. Jason Oxman, how are you, my friend?
Paul, it's so great to see you. So great to be with you. I'm excited too.
I am too, my friend, because it's all about electronic payments. Now, in the beginning intro, I kind of explained about electronic payments and what we're seeing with the different trends and everything. So why don't you explain what the survey revealed about what's happening now when it comes to electronic payments?
Yeah, so we're seeing this is kind of the intersection of financial services and technology. Consumers are increasingly adopting the use of mobile payments. So we've seen these great new services like Apple Pay and Samsung Pay, Google Pay out on the market. But what we really wanted to look at in depth is who is adopting these services and why. So we found that 2/3 of consumers are interested in mobile payments because they consider them easier to use than paying with cash or paying with a plastic card. Not surprisingly, millennials lead the pack. 75% of millennials said they were more interested in using mobile payments than any other way to pay. And as you move down in the age groups, 64% of Gen Xers said they would use them, and 43% of the baby boomers said so. So not surprisingly, the millennials are more likely to adopt these new forms of payment. But we really wanted to look at why people are adopting mobile payments, because we know this is going to be the most popular way to pay going forward.
And Jason, when we look at your expertise in the electronic fields, and now being the CEO of Electronic Transactions Association, how did you bring your experience into your organization, just to make sure that we're being informed and having the great information out there when it comes to electronic transactions?
That's a great question, Paul, because this is a brand new field, if you will. We're all familiar with the plastic credit cards and debit cards that we've been using for the last 40 years. But really, in the last 5 or 6 years, payments technology has really taken off in a number of different directions. Mobile payments being a great example of that, the way we combine financial services and technology. So companies like Apple and Samsung are working with companies like Chase and Bank of America and Visa and MasterCard and First Data to get these payments platforms onto our devices. So that's what I'm really excited about. Our industry has an annual gathering place. It's called Transact. It takes place in Las Vegas, April 17th through the 19th. And it's where all of the financial services companies and the technologies companies come together to put these services in the marketplace to help merchants and consumers understand the value of new and secure payments technologies.
And Jason, when it comes to the secure aspect of payments, when it comes to mobile payments, because I know, like myself, I pay a lot of things mobilely. My wife does too. It makes it more convenient because sometimes we're sitting in a doctor's office. I'm like, oh, I got to pay that bill, so let me go ahead and pay it right now. How secure are these payments going forward in the future?
It's an important question, and frankly, I would say it's the question I hear more often about mobile payments than any other. So I'm glad you raised it. Interestingly enough, mobile payments are the most secure form of payments technology that our industry has ever deployed. And there are really 2 reasons for that. Number one, when you use your phone to pay, we use a technology called tokenization. And what that is in a nutshell is we do not transmit your actual account number. Rather, we transmit a token that represents your account number. So even if something's intercepted, there's nothing to use. No criminal has any access to your actual account information. And the second reason is we use biometrics to secure the technology. Traditionally, for the last 40 years in our industry, we've used the signature to verify who you are. Not a particularly secure way of doing it. But with Apple Pay and Samsung Pay and Google Pay and others, you can use biometrics, your finger, a retinal scan, Face ID in the case of an Apple device, to verify who you are. So that biometric security really adds another layer and makes it even more secure than the plastic card.
Now, Jason, is this kind of the answer to cryptocurrency out there? Because we know with cryptocurrency, you get your Bitcoin and you use it once and it's kind of secure. So is this kind of the answer to the cryptocurrency conundrum out there?
Yeah, a lot of talk about cryptocurrency lately, Bitcoin and other digital currencies, and a number of merchants online have started accepting cryptocurrency. I think those technologies are important and we'll continue to see a lot of attention paid. One of the challenges of Bitcoin and other digital currencies is the price fluctuates so much and so frequently. It makes it a little hard to use in retail in some applications, but I think there's a lot of interest in it out there as well. Yeah, and the security of the technology is really what drives adoption and usage. One of the reasons that consumers prefer mobile payments and electronic payments generally over cash, for example, is if someone steals the cash out of my pocket, it's gone forever. I'll never see it again. But if I see a fraudulent charge on my credit card statement and I report it to my card issuer, I have no liability for it. So that kind of protection, that kind of security is incredibly important.
Well said, my friend. Now, what type of developments in technology are we going to see maybe this year, next year, and the future?
Yeah, I think one of the interesting ecosystem developments we're going to see in payments technology is the deployment of contactless at the point of sale. So there are more than 2 million merchant locations today that have deployed contactless technology. That's the technology that allows you to tap your phone to pay. But what we're really going to see come on the market for the first time this year are contactless cards. Now, these are cards that have that chip technology that we're all used to embedded in it, but they also have a little radio transmitter so you can actually tap your card to pay rather than inserting your card. It's a lot faster. It's just as secure as the chip card. And I think it's going to drive a lot more merchants to adopt the contactless payments technology at the point of sale. So today you can go to McDonald's or Panera or Subway and order lunch and use your phone to tap to pay, or you can go to some grocery stores. You can go to Best Buy and tap to pay to buy your new TV. But there are some merchants that haven't yet deployed that contactless technology. I think that's the technology ecosystem change that we're going to see a lot more of this year.
And Jason, I kind of talked about this in the beginning before I brought you on. These darn millennials, 75% when it comes to payments, these mobile payments and everything. What does that tell you as far as the Gen Xers and also the baby boomers out there? Are they going to catch up with the millennial use? Because let's face it, the Gen Xers and the baby boomers, they got the money. They give the money to the Gen Xers so that they can use these certain things. So are we going to see that gap kind of close?
Yeah, I think we are. And Paul, you know this from covering technology for so long. The millennials are always the first to adopt whatever the new technology is out there. And we've seen that across mobile devices. Millennials were the first to move their music collection onto the phone and stop buying CDs and records. Millennials were the first to start using their phones as their digital cameras and stop buying standalone cameras. They use them for GPS. There are all these things that we do on the phone that millennials have driven adoption of. And I think payments will be no different. As other generations, as the Gen Xers and the baby boomers start to understand how secure mobile payments technology is, I think they'll start to catch on and use it more as well. But as always, the millennials, they lead the way.
Well said, my friend. Now, before we let you go, is there anything else you'd like to articulate to the audience out there? And also, where can one find out more information?
Yeah, so more information on all the stuff we've talked about today is available on our website. It's transactiontrends.com. Information about payment security and payments technology is all there at transactiontrends.com. I think the last thing I'd leave you with is keep watching this space for more technology innovations in payments. It's all about security and reliability. And I think as consumers continue to adopt using their phones to pay, they're going to have added benefits of loyalty and cool new services like order ahead and pay, so your coffee can be waiting for you when you get there. We're very excited about all these changes in technology and what's coming up next, and look forward to continuing to keep in touch with you and keep having these great conversations about payments technology.
Absolutely. You're welcome anytime, my friend. And let me be the first to say congratulations, CEO, Electronic Transaction Association. Proud of you, my friend, and keep up the great work, and we wish you much success.
Paul, it was so great to see you, so great to reconnect, and thanks for having me on your show.
Wow, that was a surreal interview. Jason Oxman, I remember him from the Consumer Technology Association. He and another good friend of mine over there at the company, and Laura Hubbard, and it was just finding out what they're doing now is truly amazing. They know what they're talking about, and they know what they are doing. Jason Oxman, congratulations again, CEO of your organization, Electronic Transaction Association. Very proud of you, my friend. You and your team over there, continued success. And they really gave us food for thought of why we're seeing this this change in the way that we make payments and just a shift of things. Do you pay with your devices out there? You know, some people are scared. You know, my mom is still scared to pay bills online. And how long we've had online payments? My mom is like death. I'm like, Pops do it. It's cool. And even my mother-in-law, she does it now. And that's a real shocker. Yeah, that means Armageddon is near. All right. Hey, well, thank you so much for being a part of the show. Thank you so much for supporting the show. And looking forward to chatting with you next week. I think we're going to be talking about smart locks. Yeah. You ready for that? I know I am. So until next time, take care of yourself, and talk to you soon.
In this world of technology, things are ever changing, rearranging. You need someone to help you out. I know someone who can. Come and take a journey with me as we go through the land of technology. You'll never be alone. You'll be with Paul Amadeus Lane in the tech zone.